Hi, I'm Tobias McGowan. I want to go ahead and talk about personal identity and what it is to really know ourselves. I think this concept is so important because who we are on the inside is going to eventually be a reflection of who we are on the outside. So the way that we define ourselves is really going to be the foundation for any type of beneficial change that we want to experience going forward. For me, when I think about this concept, I always come back to core values. The concept of values is really, in my opinion, the best way to get a logical understanding of who we are. And I think that needs to be established before really anything. So when it comes to values, I think about three things. I think about what is most meaningful, most important, and most valuable to me. It's that which is really what I love the most in life. For me personally, when I really take the time to journal all these out and deconstruct all this, I come up with 5 values. And the 5 values for me that make sense and really define me is: number 1 is courage, number 2 is love, number 3 is service, number 4 is wisdom, and number 5 is connection. Those are the values that really define who I am. And when I wake up every morning, I try to think about those 5 values and how I can live my life in alignment with those values. How can I take actions and behaviors along those lines? And when I'm really embracing that, that's what consumes my thoughts. That's what consumes my inner world. I'm all about those 5 values. So initially, for a lot of people, I think that they start with just not knowing what their values are at all. So that step needs to be taken care of, which a lot of times takes some time where you got to sit down and journal it out and do some self-exploration, maybe meditate on it, maybe pray on it, whatever works for you. But it's a process where you really have to just be completely centered and be completely honest with who you are, what defines you, what makes you authentic, and what makes you you. Because nobody's values are the same. Everybody's values are different, and they all resonate with each person on their own level. So you gotta go through that process and discover what those values are. Once you discover what they are, all of a sudden now you have a logical understanding. You know basically with your head. From a mental perspective, you understand those values. But then you got to go a step further, and you really got to start to embody those values. So over the past year, I've really been taking the time to fully embody those values and live true to them, and make sure that my actions are in complete alignment and my goals are in complete alignment with those values, which is where all of a sudden that's so much of why my top value is courage, because it takes a lot of courage to really go through that process. The last thing I want to talk about when it comes to personal identity is 3 false identifiers. I think a lot of people fall prey to these false identifiers. I think about them as the 3 P's. Number 1, the first P is performance-based identity. So we think that who we are is based on what we do or how we act or how we behave. So we think that our whole identity is based around that. But who you are is more important than what you do. And I came to realize that with my work with my coach, my mentor, and we went over that whole concept. So that was definitely something that I had to deal with. The second one is possession-based identity. So who you are is based on what you have. You're basing your identity on your possessions, your materialistic items, your car, your house, and anything else. And then the third one is popularity-based identity, which is basically who I am is based on what everybody else thinks of me. It's based on everybody's opinions. It's based on your perception of what your reputation or what your status is, which is a very hard way to live, because you're connecting yourself with what everybody else thinks of you. So you're basically coming from a place of being a people pleaser, and that's not fun. And who you are is more expansive. It's more magnificent. It's more amazing than that. So we got to go beyond our performance-based, our possession-based, and our popularity-based identity. And once we do that, then we can start to really awaken the greatness that we are, and then live from that place. And that's so much of what I want to help others do, is really help them discover that and awaken that genius within them. So hopefully this helped, and hopefully I gave you some good insights and information around personal identity. So I encourage that wherever you are, whatever phase, you either start discovering what your values are, or you really start to embody and start living those values. So until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.